day. Nice to see y'all today. Well, today I kind of like to do a 20-hour review on the QK-18RXS-C mini excavator. Had it since new. It had 0.1 hours on it, I believe, when I first got it. Was delivered to the house here, and today it has 20.4 hours on it. So I've had it since I believe I got it in January. I'd have to look back, late December, early January, I believe. Can't really do much in the winters in Canada with a machine like this. It's we had some real nice days where I did some other jobs with it, but everything's all froze up. I greased it up. I changed the fluids and stuff since we had it. And you know what? I'm really impressed with its capabilities overall. But at the end of this video, I'm going to answer to you whether I would buy this machine again or not, right? At the end of the day, I had never ever been in an excavator or touched a machine with the capabilities of this before in my life, aside from like a farm tractor with a loader on it or a skid steer moving snow at other jobs that I worked with. But I've run forklifts, but something like this, digging in the ground, and it never touched anything like that before in my life. So overall, in the first hour I had this machine, there is a video, the tailpipe fell off. And I did put together a little quick fix, and that has actually held together for me really well. Of course, when I first got it, there is a video. It's a terrible video, I have to admit myself. Some of these are pretty bad, but I thank you guys that are following along with me, that do follow along on this stuff. I'm learning, and hopefully this is getting better. You guys tell me. I know I had a guy comment the other day. I don't know if you can see it in the comments or not still, but it was in German, and it translated to basically that he found me very annoying and said that even he knew more about a mini excavator than I did. So whatever, I don't claim to know everything about a mini excavator, and that really doesn't bother me at all. But so aside from that, I've changed the hydraulic fluid, I've changed the oil. I had the problem with the tailpipe falling off. I did a video with a fix for that. I had this one grease fitting here. It's a flush mount grease fitting. That one was faulty, and I had to change it out. There was a quick video for that. The other thing that I had go wrong with this unit was so I was working with it in the garden, and I had one track come part way off, but I caught it in time. Like, I felt it was like a baseball sized rock got up inside this track here somewhere in the rollers and started to take, you could feel it, something funny as I was tracking, and a clunk clunk, and I looked down and the track was halfway off. So I'm glad I caught it when I did. I was able to clear the debris from underneath the unit and walk the track back on, just kind of in reverse the way it was coming off, right? And just walk the track back on, and I haven't had a problem with that since. I haven't touched the tensioners or anything. It makes sense. If you're going over some really rocky terrain or running over big branches and stuff, without tipping over your machine, of course, it's gonna get stuck in the track. Stuff's gonna get stuck in the track. I've had branches and stuff trying to move deadfall trees on the property. Stuff when you're trying to make a pile. I've had stuff get stuck through here, and you got to worry about ripping hoses off and whatever. But thankfully I haven't had any problems with that. I've had 0 leaks. I've greased it religiously. Um, Usually every 3 to 5 hours, I'll put a little bit of grease in it. As you can, it's that's grease. It's not clean, right? But the more grease, the better, I guess. Another problem I had, well, it wasn't really a problem. I did notice when I was digging in our garden that the teeth started to come loose. And like, you know, I lifted up the bucket, and if you ever seen Homer Simpson, that's kind of what the teeth looked like. So, you know, I just took my impact to them and tightened everything up, and I haven't had them come loose again since, right? Um, I've, as for jobs, like this thing's done us really good. We planted 70 trees on this property. Like they're not huge trees, but you know, about this tall. And I had to dig holes for every one and clean up the ground and make sure it was nice loose ground for our trees. And of those 70 trees, only 5 did not take. And we've had a pretty hot summer, pretty hot, dry summer. And if those were the aspens and they were right out in the sun, they didn't make it, but otherwise the other 65 trees are doing very well, and they're actually kind of up to my knee already. So they're doing really good. So we planted 70 trees. I tore down a small building. I took well, you can't see it right now. I did a video, I removed the front clip off of my 62 International B160 truck. I did try and push snow with it. We got tractors and a snow plow truck to move snow around here, but I did try to clear a little bit of snow with it. The thing moves at a snail's pace. Like molasses in January could beat this thing in a race, 100-meter race. Like it does move pretty slow, moves at a snail's pace. And this cab, super tippy. You know, if you're on uneven ground or whatever, or even like, let's take for instance when I tore down that little grain shed. If you watch that building or watch that video, I did there is a spot in there where I did run over on one side. I think it was like a 4x4 post, and the machine kind of tipped over to one side, and it looked like I was going to go over, but actually the cab caught it on the other side. And it did knock this lens off of here, but it just popped off, and it was hanging there by the rubber gasket, and I just reached up, popped it back in, and it's there. Like there's no damage or anything. Super lucky. I went to go take it down into the orchard the one day, and there's a bit of a hill there. This thing with this cab on here, super tippy. At least it feels that way. You got to make sure that you use what you have to try and keep yourself straight up, right? Use your bucket and your boom and arm or stick to try and keep yourself straight up, keep the machine straight up. Going down a grade, it can be a little bit scary. As for the air conditioning unit, I did have a piece break off of there, and that was one of these little guys for the flaps up here. It's not broken, it just kind of came out of the little cavities that hold it in place, and I haven't had the patience to try and I haven't taken out the chopsticks to try and put this thing back in there the way it's supposed to be. You need chopsticks in your toolbox if you want to run one of these. Otherwise, I did, as everybody says, they talk about this, is it a turret motor or a little motor that spins under there, and if you watched a lot of the videos on these, you hear guys complaining that their bolts came loose on that motor and the machine they were having problems. I did pull this up. I did pull this floor out of here. I found it, there's guys that talk about cutting the floor to make it easier to get out. I found a simpler way to do that, or simple for me, maybe not for you, but I did have this floor up, got down inside there, had a look. Those bolts are all tight on this machine. Nothing's come loose really, right? Like aside from what I said, the teeth on the bucket and the tailpipe falling off. with removing this floor, what I did, so you've got to be very patient. You take out these bolts, I believe, excuse me, I can't remember what size they were. I think they were like an 11 millimeter or a 10 mil, 10 and an 11 or something. I can't remember now, but you got to get in there, get your nut off and hold the bolt, pull them through without dropping them down inside, because you drop stuff down there, it's gone. And then these two sticks have a cotter pin that holds them on the other side. Again, don't lose the cotter pin, or if you're gonna take it apart, be smart, think ahead of time, make sure that you got some spare cotter pins around so that if you do lose one down there, it's not the end of the day and you're trying to Mickey Mouse something else together, wrapping wire or some kind of crap in there, right? Just be prepared. If you're gonna take stuff apart, be prepared. With one of these. This door here, everybody thinks that, well, it looks like it opens, and then you get the bolts out and you're like, oh, I gotta pick up the floor to open it so that you can see back in behind here. A fellow asked, I can't believe, I think it was last night or this morning, put up a quick comment and asked if I could do a segment on getting to the battery, because he had to do something with the battery on his. If you've ever looked in the back of one of these, I can show you guys here. You've probably seen in my walk around video, that battery is not easy to get to, and if my battery ain't going dead, I ain't even gonna touch that thing. Or I'm just gonna leave it for now. Because I think, personally, the easiest way to get that battery out of this machine is to take this cab off, and then take this whole panel off, because it ain't going to swing open anyways. So you get your Allen wrench out and take out your bolts on the hinges, that door will come off, take the floor off, pull your pedals off, slide that up and over your guys there. You don't need to cut that, and you should be able to get at the battery, but I'm not going to guarantee that, because these things are put together quite intricately. The windshield wiper on the front. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know about all machines, but this one's kind of a 50-50 gamble. Flick the switch, it might turn on, it might not. People have asked about the air conditioning unit. I have only ever used this air conditioning unit, and I'm being completely honest with you, for about 15 minutes maybe in one go. Ran it for about 10 or 15 minutes, and it didn't have any effect on the machine at all. The machine didn't shut down or go dead that I seemed, and I've just always run it with the windows open and this door open. So that's another thing, you do got to be careful in your workspace when you're pivoting with this machine. Be careful of branches and stuff like that are up above, because they get caught on this and you could rip that door off. I have had no casualties, and I'd like to keep it that way. So at the end of the day, I've greased it about, I think, 4 times. It lasts about, if fuel, a lot of people ask about fuel, how much fuel does it use? So it's got I think it's a 1.5 gallon tank. Can't remember 100%, or I can't, you'd have to look up the machine and whatever, because I don't want to lie to you, but it does run for about, I'd say about 2 hours and 45 minutes on full throttle, or not full throttle, half throttle, sorry, correct, half throttle. I don't run it at much more than that, and yeah, about 2.5 hours, 2 hours 45 minutes. And she will run out right close to 3 hours, I think. So I've run it out of fuel a couple of times. So I have not. People have said that they've broken this bracket on the hydraulic thumbs on lots of these machines. If you use common sense and you don't curl this bucket right into this, like I haven't bent this, and I haven't broken the bracket. I've lifted up big logs and cut sections off so that they're 16-inch pieces and I can throw them through a log splitter. and haven't had a problem with that bracket or that hydraulic thumb at all. I do like that it has this the swing boom. Is you actually use it more often than you'd think. And I was kind of on the fence. Do I need that? Do I not need it? I'm glad I got it. That is a nice touch on these machines. I just wish this machine was a little bit heavier. If I had no choice but to buy this model of machine again, or similar, I know they have one. It's a something 15. It's by AGT. I don't know what the model, but it's basically this machine with the little roof and stuff. I would take that before I took this with this cab on here. I don't like the cab. You get too hot in there. That air conditioning unit, well, it's all in wing. I don't understand how to read the thingamadoo on there, and I figured out how to put it in econo mode, and that's kind of what I ran it at for those 15 minutes that it didn't affect the machine. It does cool you off, but I'm kind of claustrophobic, so riding in one of this with this door closed, a little oneer, I don't know, not for me. But end of the day, I think I've covered everything. I got a cheat sheet. I wrote some stuff down for once, right? First hour, the tailpipe fell off, AC vent windshield wiper track partially came off, AC planted 70 trees. Oh, here we go. I dug up 3 massive stumps. Oh, I did say that, I think. Yeah, in our garden. And expanded our garden with this machine this year. I don't know if you might have saw the video where I teamed up. It says I teamed up with my Husqvarna chainsaw on this thing, just doing some maintenance down there. And then I decided, because our garden didn't really turn out very well last year, I thought this year I would use this machine, and I turned the whole garden, but with this mini excavator. What is the garden, 30 feet by, I think it's 30 feet by 15 or something like that. It's not a massive garden, but I turned the entire garden with this mini excavator and then rototilled it, and our garden is all aces this year. It is doing absolutely fabulous. I looked at some of the crowns, I'll call them, that's where the carrot is just kind of coming out of the ground there, and there's a couple that are a little over an inch across the top, so I'm gonna leave them. So hopefully we'll grow some real nice big ones, and the cucumbers, everything's going really good. So end of the day, the big question, wait, getting ahead of myself. Yeah, the only other thing I can complain about that I have written down on this sheet is if you aggressively turn this, and I think would be the same with any tracked machine, aggressively turning, you're going to rip up the grass. But I did pull this machine in here. I did turn it around right here so that you guys could have a look at the blade. I don't know, it's presentation for a video. And you know, I did a little bit of damage to the grass here when I tracked it in here, turned around. Not a huge deal. If you just take it easy and feather it when you're trying to turn, just feather it. One will go faster than the other. Just let it, give yourself lots of room and lots of time, because like I said, it moves at a snail's pace. You're not going to do a lot of damage with it. It's top heavy, so careful you're not going to tip over. But at the end of the day, here's the answer to my question. Would I buy this machine with this cab on it again? Absolutely not. No, I would not. But to each his own. I'm just, you know, thankful that I have somewhere kind of indoors to store it. I don't have to put a cover on it or nothing. I just wish that silly cab wasn't on there. That's my biggest grump about it. So there you go, 20-hour review on the AGT QK-18RXS-C. You guys have yourselves a great day, and don't be shy, subscribe, and love to see you again.